Hi, welcome to another installment of 30-second concerts behind the scenes. Today I'm going to talk about the arrangements. Where do they come from? How do they get written? Where does the music of 30-second concerts come from? And so the answer is a couple of different things. First, it could be actual printed sheet music. Most often is just a piano part that I then elaborate upon. Sometimes I'm lucky enough to find arrangements of things. But normally it's usually just a piano part, or if not that, it could be simply a chord structure, or it might even be something called tabs, which are a shorthand used by rock musicians in order to play without being able to read music per se. So I will look on the internet for the song that I am trying to arrange. And once I find one or more sources that I will use in order to make my arrangement, then I'll begin. The other thing that has to be considered when creating one of these arrangements is, of course, the 30-second time limit. And it's often, for me, tricky to find a small enough snippet of music that's easily identifiable that will also fit into that time frame that is played in a tempo that is appropriate. And one of the things it's taught me to do over time is to learn to write extended intros or extended codas to pieces so that I'm able to fill the appropriate time frame. Once I've identified a source, then I can go ahead and get started. Here I've selected an arrangement of Happy Birthday, of which I have one page of music. So what I will do is I won't worry about the key, I won't worry about anything. I will simply start rearranging what I see on the page for the instrumental grouping that I want to create. So I go over to Flat.io, which is a free music arranging source, and I'll create a new score. And I'll call it Happy Birthday. And we won't care about my spelling right now. And what I'll do is I will add a whole bunch of flute parts. I'll add 5 flute parts right out of the gate. So this will be my base of recorder parts for my arrangement. And it could be that I will add percussion, or maybe I won't, depending on what I'm trying to go for. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to throw this together super quick. So let's take a quick look. First thing, we've got to get the key signature correct. So let's set that to the appropriate 3/4. And then also let's go ahead and put that pickup. So we'll give it a 1 pickup. And then we can start arranging. So I'll be flipping back and forth between those like so. And then we simply begin to start keying it in. And I'm using a bunch of shortcuts that I've learned on the keyboard in order to do this, but that's really all it takes. And from there, I'll continue to add parts until I'm done. Okay, so here's a quick opening intro for Happy Birthday. I myself have not even listened to this yet, so let's see what we've got. As I said, I started out with my 5 flute parts. Those will end up being the 5 recorder parts. Spoiler alert, I don't read the alto or the bass the way I'm supposed to. So I transpose those, I turn them into French horn parts so that I'm fingering all the recorders as though I'm playing on a C instrument, which is cheating and is bad if you're an old horn player, but that's what's going on. I've also, in this case, added a couple of percussion instruments, drum instruments, I should say. I've got a cymbal part, I've got a bass and snare drum part. I've added a glockenspiel on the top and a xylophone. So let's see what we've got. Okay, that could definitely use some work, but you get the idea. What happens now is I play around with some of this stuff. That drum part doesn't work in the least. And we'll rearrange it and we'll work on that. It usually takes me about an hour, hour and a half total to get to a finished example. I'll show you a finished example here. Why don't we do, here we go. So once I've had time to play around with it and decide what the voicing should be and fixing all of those other things, what you get is something that looks and sounds like this. So that gives you an idea. I'm also able to move all or some of the parts around individually or together. I'm able to transpose the entire piece. So finding the right key that will work for my instrumentation is not as challenging as it might seem. And once all of those things are done, I can start creating parts. And what I always do is I create a full score and a set of parts, and it's accomplished super easily just by clicking a button over here. I can either print myself a score or print myself a set of parts to PDF, and I'm good to go. And once I've gone ahead and printed those parts, this is what they look like. It will print out a series of pages that I use to play off of and then record each individual part. And as I said, I also always print myself a copy of the full score in case I want to go back and check something or if something isn't making sense. And that's how the Music for 30-Second Concerts comes together. Hope you found this informative or interesting, and I really do appreciate everybody's support, everybody tuning into the channel. So please continue to watch and stay tuned for another installment of Behind the Scenes. Take care.